fait suite à la dégradation.
Niger's President Mohamed Bazoum has been removed from power. That's according to a group of soldiers who appeared on national TV late Wednesday. Bazoum had been detained for hours by his own guards in the presidential palace.
26 juillet 2023.
An army spokesman, Colonel Amadou Abderrahman, declared the West African nation's borders were closed, a nationwide curfew was in place, and all institutions were suspended. Security forces, according to Abderrahman, decided to rebel due to the, quote, deteriorating security situation and bad governance. Supporters of the ousted President Bazoum have been quick to condemn the army's action, gathering outside the National Assembly in the capital Niamey to call for his release. This man says he's here to defend democracy. He added Bazoum was elected for 5 years and democracy should prevail. Niger is a key Western ally in a global fight against insurgencies in the Sahel region. The coup now complicates international efforts to fight a jihadist movement that has spread from Mali over the past decade. Bazoum's election was the first democratic transition of power in a state that has witnessed 4 military coups since independence from France in 1960. The coup has sparked international condemnation, with the US calling for Bazoum's release, while the European Union, United Nations, France and others have condemned the uprising. US Secretary of State Antony Blinken.
I spoke with President Bazoum earlier this morning and made clear that the United States resolutely supports him as the democratically elected president of Niger. We call for his immediate release. We condemn any effort to seize power by force. We're actively engaged with the Niger government, but also with partners in the region and around the world. We'll continue to do so until the situation is resolved appropriately and peacefully.
This is the 7th coup in the West and Central Africa region since 2020.
Email exchanges from inside the BBC, they talk about the risk of violating Indian laws. It's easier to rake up the freedom of speech debate, but does it give anyone a free pass to knowingly violate the law? America supports India because it needs India's support in return. And India is working with the US because it suits India's interests. This is how geopolitics works. Last night, he diffused a crisis with his defense minister. But today, Netanyahu was confronted with a new problem. His cabinet seems to have rebelled against him. The UK is looking at the Indian subcontinent to fill its coffers. That India seems to be negotiating from a position of power, like a partner and not a former colony.